So what is good guys, Adnan here, and so is Android Pie for the OnePlus 5 as well as the 5T. Let's have a quick glance at everything that comes new within this package, shall we? So there's a stable Pi release based on OS 9 for both the 5 as well as the 5T, and you'll receive the OTA soon if you haven't already. But as for me, I'm using the open beta version, which is essentially the same thing, but I prefer these builds since they always give me better battery backup. Anyways, let's break this down into what's new and what's just been redesigned. The entire notification area has been reworked upon with the Pi-esque rounded icons and cleaner vectors. The clock has been moved to the far left despite this not being a notched phone, but oh well. The quick toggles work just the way they did in Oreo, so that's really good. Hopping into the settings app, and finally OnePlus has decluttered their older shitload of menus into proper, organized, less tabs that just makes things less confusing. The shelf to the far left now has a dark mode when you apply the system-wide dark theme instead of the old static white that remained regardless of the theme before. All the animations have been updated and they look really good, especially when you speed them up by 0.5 times. Every app bounces open from its place on the home screen and closes with a slide down. Tapping on the Recents button will not only reveal a new animation, but an entirely new Recents menu. This is the same controversial UI that was released with Pi on the Pixels, but was soon praised for how good it was. OS takes this further, rounding off all the corners to make what I feel is a better looking version than the original. Anyways, you can still double tap the Recents button to quick switch between apps, split screen works just fine, and the amount of information you can glance at from the Recents itself is now amazing. Just a little bug though, you can't for some reason copy text from the Recents preview like you could on a stock Android phone, so hoping that comes up in a future update soon. That's all for the redesigns. Everything else is just addition of new features, most of which are under the hood. One of my favorites is the new Smart Adaptive Brightness mode, which is fast, extremely accurate, and honestly I just leave it turned on because it learns from your usage over time. Adaptive battery works great too, although I cannot comment much given that the battery on the OnePlus 5 for me was always great, and with this update I still average between 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time on a heavy day. Lastly, adding to the entire AI spectrum of Android Pie, we have Google Lens integrated directly into the OnePlus camera app. That's a really nice touch. The updated gaming mode is extremely useful, and you can now choose a new style of notifications while gaming that don't scream in your face a lot. Do Not Disturb has also seen improvements, now allowing the user to adjust minute settings, although honestly the alert slider works just fine for me. There's two new quick launch options that might interest a few users. First off, you can launch your quick pay app of choice by holding down the home button when the screen is turned off. Users can also toggle on the quick Google Assistant launch option, which is a half-second press on the power button. All these are options and only show up if you so choose to. The only omission I could notice in this big update was the lack of Pi navigation gestures for the OnePlus 5. It's obvious that they didn't add their own proprietary gesture navigation system like they did for the 6T, the 6 and the 5T, given the 5 still has a screen filled with big bezels, but the addition of pill navigation would have been nice. Lastly, let's talk about a few bugs I noticed. There's noticeable lag while using the device. Both 5 and 5T users have reported this, and this isn't the usual lag you would notice on an older device, but it triggers in a few times a day and lasts only for a couple of seconds. My guess is that the CPU cores suddenly underclock themselves before realizing they need more power and then kick back in. This isn't a deal breaker, but is definitely noticeable. Voice calls with earphones plugged in drop a lot, and this is a pretty big issue for people who use their phones to, well, call others. Finally, there's a voice chat glitch within PUBG Mobile. However, it's random and has been reported to be a game issue for the build rather than OS's fault. Anyways, that's been it. So far I'm loving OS both on my 5 as well as on the 6T. My full in-depth review of OS 9 is in the works alongside a ton of other videos, so make sure you stick around. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.